And what year was it logged again?
So this was logged about 1.5 years ago. So not December of 23, but December of 2022, we had 300 trees, logged off. These two fields to the north of me are in CRP program. And so yeah, we have a stand here. We generally will hunt this on a south wind. It hasn't been that productive, probably because of a combination of hunting pressure and whatever other reason. But we do see quite a bit of deer using this spot right here. And this ridge here, I kind of am considering more of a sanctuary spot because it's just so hard to get to. And now that we have it logged, it's just going to be getting, like a really, really thick ridge. So.
Adam, if I picked up anything at Joe's from you, that's the type of setup you like, eh? With a big backdrop tree.
Yeah, I mean the most coverage there. You probably won't be skyline. Side dogs.
Trying to decide where we should go. Let's see.
You guys typically hunt this spot, bow, gun, or both? Or?
Usually both. I kind of want this to be more of a rut spot. This area, in terms of like midday activity, it just hasn't been as much as we see further back. But I don't know if that's because of hunting pressure or because I don't know all the reasons behind it. But this traditionally has been a lot more open than you're seeing now. After having it logged, everything's starting to grow up, and I think this could be a really good midday time frame in the future with less hunting pressure, leaving this area alone and coming in here. A lot of what we do actually is coming in at 9 or 10 o'clock, trying to come in with winds where we're not having our scent flow into the bedding areas. And especially in the back, actually it's worked really well coming in about 9 a.m. and hunting that midday, during the rut. So this is the same ridge that goes through the woods between the swamps, and it runs all the way north. And I made a road across it for access right here. We're actually this ridge is all gravel, so we're actually gonna dig into this hill right here and get a bunch of gravel, but I'm also gonna make it so there's like a cut right through the hill here. So the idea is in the rut and during the future, having a little bit more stealthy access rather than coming down this trail. And what I've done is come down through here, and the ditch is maybe 150 yards east from here. And then we use that ditch to access stands on the edge of our swamp. So I'll show you I'm actually making a new access to the ditch, but basically once we get to that tree line, it's about like, I don't know, 60 to 80 yards to the ditch. So we'll go take a look at that. So the stand is there. So I'll show you. We'll walk to the ditch, but basically, it's like 25, 30. It's like 30 yards from the ditch. We'll come in from the ditch to that tree there. Generally hunting it on most winds. I mean, we won't hunt it on an east wind. And this direction here is what I consider the, sanctuary best habitat. And I put in a trail here. This trail basically goes straight south. And maybe the third year I had the property, I was hunting there on a morning hunt. And had a lot of bucks pass by, but that's when I had a 3.5-year-old come right down this trail, and he was right over there where Adam is, and that's when my arrow came off the rest and he took off. And then right where Jason is at 12 noon, it was that I don't know, it was 2-3 years ago when it was super hot during the rut and it was dry. And I passed up 2.5-year-old bucks, and then I had the 8-point. I think he was coming to get a drink from the ditch. This was all dry, and he was coming this way, and I shot him right where Jason is. And then this year hunting, coming through this crap. Let's see. It was a hunt where I took my electric bike in. So I took my electric bike 2 hours. I pretty much was basically, probably not quite 2 hours, but probably an hour and 45 minutes before light when I came through the farm. Parked my bike at the ditch, and then it takes me like 45 minutes because the ditch has got quite a bit of water, and I'm carrying most of my clothes with me. It takes me about 45 minutes to walk down the ditch. Usually in the ditch I'll get dressed, then I'll sneak into the tree. That process takes a while. So I want to say I got in that tree right about an hour before daylight. And I immediately had 2 button bucks. It was enough moonlight I could see them. They were under my tree basically until it got light, and then they moved to the north. We tend to have a ton of button bucks, lone fawns, just cruising these thickets all day long during the rut. It's like they're orphaned, mom's gone, and they love hanging out here. And then a 10-pointer with a doe came in from the south, worked its way in. They were actually in this thicket, just only 10 yards from the stand, and they bedded down for an hour, and I'm just sitting in that tree, and they were there for an hour, and then eventually the doe got up, and I'm thinking, well, it's an estrus doe. This is probably one of my last hunts before gun season, and it was windy enough. I shot the doe. She was in that brush, and she ran right here and stood here and bedded down and died. And that buck was bedded when I shot her. He was bedded right there. He got up and was sniffing all around her, and I watched him for an hour. And he would go over there, and he didn't know what the heck happened. And eventually he worked his way off that way, and there was several satellite bucks throughout this whole time. I think one of them was a 2.5-year-old. They were back in through here, moving around. So that's been, pretty productive spot. I came through and trimmed a bunch of stuff. So you'll see a lot of brush and logs. But normally I make it nice so you can, typically you're walking in the water or just on the edge.
Taking you so long because you're trying not to splash.
And get hot. trying not to get, but yeah, I'm trying to go quiet, but I'm also trying to not, get overheated. Especially if I'm doing a long morning sit. Now, some mornings the temp comes up, but some mornings the temp doesn't come up, and if you're there an hour and a half before light, and you get sweaty, I mean, it's tough. So, anyway, so this stand, now there are bigger trees that way, so we call that number 2. So we have stand 3, 4, and 5 that are all similar setups, between here and I don't know if it's 300 yards to the property line that way.
Similar distance from the ditch.
Similar
So you
distance
can
from
pop up.
similar distance from the ditch. Yeah.
So Adam covered 6 strategies earlier, right? That was part of your quiz. We talked about scent control and access. What were some of the other ones? Timing. How many hunts a year do you do, Matt?
Where? Like
Here.
this spot?
Well, no, this property.
Oh, a lot. I tend to try to not blow scent into the sanctuaries. We tend to hunt up front early season. I'm tempted to come back here the first week of season. I have a couple cell cams. I have not run cell cams here, but I usually put a trail camera that I never check. I use it for intel. The 10-point that I talk about intel, the 10-point that I saw, he was on that camera like in this area just before season. He was on a bunch, and then the week that I saw him with that doe, he was on that camera in daylight a whole bunch. And so if I had a cell cam, that would have worked, because I would have known he was there and I came in here. But I try to hit this, I don't know. So I have a stand into the sanctuary. I call it my birthday stand because my birthday is November 13th. I hunt it once a year, and I try to do an all-day sit. And I'll usually will come in after daylight. I'll come down this ditch. I'm hoping for kind of a windy day, but I can get in with quite a bit of cover, and I try to sneak in there. This year, I went in before daylight. I didn't hunt all day. I hunted till about 2. But that stand will only get hunted maybe once a year. So, anyway.
So the presentation being about surgical removal of the oldest buck, maybe it's a different approach someone takes than family hunting in quantity to help the habitat.
Exactly. In this spot, I can't really get out too easily, because I got to go all the way back up front. So I'm hoping to get the farm thicker as time goes on, and I'm hoping to not even have to come back here and hunt, because I'm hoping to get them in other areas in daylight.